Like imagine Franz Ferdinand was called Integrity.
Totally. Mm-hmm. So imagine if U2 was called Integrity.
Imagine if Franz Ferdinand was called Franz Ferdinand.
Yeah. No, I don't like to pick that bit.
That's the only thing that could be dumber.
Welcome to Pit Warning. My name is Wesley Decker. With me, as always, is Kyle Vaughn.
Shut up.
Already? It's like 1 second into the podcast.
Shut your fucking face, Kyle. Justin Davidson.
Hey there.
And Nate Rippey.
Hi.
Hi. How are you guys doing tonight? How are you doing tonight?
Hostile.
Tired.
Yeah.
You're tired? I'm tired too, Nate.
Me too.
And being tired is very on brand for tonight's topic because it is bands you slept on, bands you probably should have been into, but for one reason or another, you missed them. You were left out. You didn't partake. And now you're kicking yourself because you missed out on some cool tunes at the time and are playing catch up ever since. But Justin, you had a pretty good spiel on this. I feel like you kind of contextualized it better than I could. So let me throw it to you.
How I kind of approached this subject was bands that I don't really. Maybe I saw them. Maybe I listened to them at one point, and they just didn't really resonate with me at that time. And then like a couple of years later, maybe put the album back on or saw another show with them and was kind of blown away, like going, why the heck did I not get into this earlier? And I think the way that I had stated it earlier was bands that like weren't ahead of its time, but were ahead of my time. And it just took me a little while for me to catch up to how good they were. And the one of the things that I kind of was like dabbling with as far as going like, okay, shucks, could I have seen this band? Like technically, yes. Was I in a place to see this band? And kind of one of the thoughts was like, okay, well, I was listening to black metal, or I was listening to like something like super, heavy, but I was also like a 15-year-old kid and didn't have like the means to go and search out some dingy basement for, some satanic black metal band that was playing in or something like that. Like,
you may not have even had the awareness at that time.
That's what I mean. Like I didn't even know, I wasn't like aware of things that were going on. Like maybe I was listening to it, something passively, and then got into it and gone, oh man, maybe I had a chance to see them at some point, but just didn't.
Yep.
Well, that's kind of how I contextualize the whole thing.
Totally. And all of that is to say is you got to kind of have the line in the sand for where this technically means you slept on something. But yep, I hear you.
Real quick question. And I'm not sure if I've ever done this, but has anybody on the podcast accidentally slept through a show, like literally, like took a nap and then woke up at 10:30 and was like, oh man, I missed it. I remember when I was working a boatload, and I was working down in Santa Cruz, and I was coming up to hang out with Dan, and we were gonna go dancing or dancing or something like that night, and I pulled over to the side of the road because I was falling asleep on the road to get back up to San Francisco. And I'm like, I'm just going to shut my eyes for a second. And then like I woke up at shut my eyes at like 8:00. And I woke up at like midnight on the side of the road to a cop, banging on the side of my window going like, hey man, you gotta get it going, buddy. And and then I remember calling Dan, and he was so bummed out. He's like, I didn't get to go dancing tonight because you flaked on me so hard.
Would you guys have been on your way to come dance with me?
Most likely.
Well, I'm sorry I missed you that night. I'm sure the night wasn't the same without you.
That's right. What could have happened? Where would our
Who
lives
knows?
be if we would have shown up?
Not on a podcast, I wager.
That's real.
All right. Nate, Kyle, does that jibe with you guys in terms of definition?
Yeah, I get it.
You got it? Good?
For sure.
Cool. All right. Well, Justin, my king, my hero, kick us off.
Okay. Let me see. Let me look through the Rolodex of bands that I've slept on. I'll do the first one here. And this is a band that I did see a couple of times. And I want to say that I saw them headline for a band called Yaphet Kotto that I was super into at the time. I was I really was drawn to all these Ebullition bands in like the late 90s, and I really dug them a lot. And,
Fuck yeah, dude. Second that big time.
And so I really dug Yaphet Kotto a ton. And in Santa Cruz, there was this big, like, kind of like crust hardcore scene for some reason. There was still like a regular, we had vegan straight edge hardcore. We had like all the, I guess the traditional hardcore of the time. But then there was this massive crust scene as well. And
yeah, like patches on your thighs and stuff.
Yeah, like butt flaps and stuff. And I was a surf dude. I never needed a butt flap. I still haven't needed a butt flap. I've never owned a butt flap because I wasn't, camping out and sitting in dirt and rain. Anyways,
yeah, that shit's cool though.
So the band that it is cool. I wish I had a butt flap face. But the band that I'm talking about is Tragedy.
Oh, yeah.
And I think I started getting into them probably in like 2005 or 2006. And I want to say that the album that really got me stoked on them was Nerve Damage.
Fuck yeah.
And when that album came out, I was just like, holy Toledo, these guys are like blowing my mind right now. And then looking back on thinking back going like, I've seen Tragedy a couple of times. Like, how did this not like resonate with me at the time? And I didn't really understand it. And I think that perhaps it was just too crusty for me. I was too clean, dude. I was too clean a kid. And like thinking back on it, like them being like spinoffs of, I think were all of them in His Hero Is Gone, or was it? I think most of them were in His Hero Is Gone, and that was a little bit above my head at the time as well.
It was a bit pre our time too. I was gonna like that band is so rad, but it is. I think their first one came out in like 92 or 93. It was
His Hero Is Gone.
Yeah,
I saw His Hero Is Gone at Gilman.
Oh yeah, you're old.
Yeah, that's where that age difference comes in. But and
the same thing. I had seen His Hero Is Gone as well, but still, it was a little bit too much.
That's funny. I was listening to them a lot this week.
Oh, yeah? Nice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that show stank. By the way, not the band, but it was literally fucking stinky.
Oh,
anyways.
A putrid aroma, but so that's my first band is Tragedy. It's a band that I saw several times, and they were ahead of my time. And it took me a while for me to come around and really start digging them. And but I still love them. I listen to them pretty often, even up to today.
Yeah, it is pretty awesome. I've never seen them, but I love that band.
I've never seen Tragedy either, and I had the exact same thing. I remember whenever like Nerve Damage sort of crossed paths with my life, I had the same reaction of where have you been all my life? And it was because I slept on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Solid pick.
Let them slide by.
Yep. All right. I'm going to jump in next because why not? So my band is a band that came to my attention right when I was actually getting into hardcore. I've been aware of them ever since, but for some reason they just really didn't click with me until probably like the last, I don't know, like 5 years or so. But that band is Cleveland's own Integrity.
Ooh, wee.
Yeah, dude. Integrity formed in 1988 and first came to my attention via a little comp. You guys might know it as well. Do you guys remember those Victory style comps?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure it was Victory Style 2 had the song Rise on it. It was the first song, if I remember correctly. And I even remember, like, at the time sort of being like, okay, that's a cool song, but I'm really here for Strife and Snapcase and Earth Crisis and California Takeover were the bands I was listening to Victory Style for. But no, Integrity's fucking rad. And I think it was just sort of a case, like Justin said earlier, where I just wasn't quite there in my own taste level and maybe sort of mentally prepared for the heaviness of Integrity. But it really just fucking scratches an itch for me, I guess, being a little bit older, just the darkness of it, the heaviness of it. I love all the accompanying artwork that I'm pretty sure Dwid does all of it. And also just Dwid's voice. He just sounds like a fucking monster. It's rad. And I appreciate that he's sort of also helped usher in a lot of younger bands over the years. I can't remember if I ever shared this with you guys, but when I was sharing out that band Enforced way back when, who we all enjoy, the only reason that band sort of popped up on my radar was because I think Dwid put out their first album and does guest vocals on one of their songs. But I'm very into the older generation ushering in the younger generation. It's good stuff. Anyways, I'm babbling.
Keeping the scene alive. Dwid's a pretty cool name, isn't it?
Dwid's is super cool. He's an interesting dude. He lives in Germany now. I think he, aside from doing Integrity, he does like a lot of art stuff. And he was a pen pal, as of sorts, with Charles Manson for a little bit. Because anybody who looks at their artwork knows he has an affinity for the Manson family.
Yeah.
But Wesley's always coming with so many facts. I really got to step it up with who now.
Big facts.
Yeah.
Well, his last name is just as cool as his first name. His last name's Hellion, right?
Fuck yeah, dude. Really good.
Hellion. And and I, to your point about Enforced, I remember when we started talking about Enforced and looking up and going, oh, maybe this is why I like these guys so much, because Dwid does have a part in that band. I agree with you big time with that band, like Integrity being a little bit ahead of my time as well. I remember buying a Hatebreed and Integrity split 7-inch that is awesome. And of course I bought it for Hatebreed, and then listening to the Integrity side, I'm like, what the fuck, man? This stuff is intense, dude. But since revisiting it, I'm like, man, Integrity fucking rules, and I was just an absolute fool for not liking them back then.
Yeah.
Humanity is the Devil was a big one for me when I was a youngster. I think maybe we talked about that on the first one.
I think so. Yeah.
It was one of the earlier like heavy bands that my brother introduced me to, and I was totally fascinated by it. I mean, the cover, the title, that first song that's called Vocal Test, where he doesn't even, there's no words, he's just
totally
yelling.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Became like a fucking internet meme with all the cats and shit.
Yeah.
Do you guys seen that? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Nate, my brother from another mother. What do you got?
Yes, brother. So I'm going to go super broad and somewhat generic, but I'm just being honest with you guys, myself, the listeners.
Don't sell yourself short, Nate.
Fugazi. I mean, I didn't get into
Oh,
these guys.
that's legit. Yeah.
I didn't get into them till the argument, if I'm being honest. Yeah, I mean, they've grown to be one of my favorite bands. I just, even, the later in their catalog, the better for me, because they get a little more adventurous and kind of Sonic Youthy and, just badass. Of course, I knew Waiting Room and stuff, but I just wasn't really a punk rock kid. And a lot of the Fugazi stuff just kind of, like you guys said, I don't know if it was over my head or under my head or just, whatever. But eventually, I had the epiphany, I guess, that these guys were one of the best bands ever. Never got a chance to see them live, but they would be on my list for sure if I could see one band live. And everyone knows them, so obviously I don't need to talk about it too much more, but yeah.
I have a fun fact for you, Nate. Had you been able to see them live, do you know about the set list thing?
Ooh, no.
So the neat thing about Fugazi, and I guess speaking to their ability to be a band together, they didn't have set lists. They would just go out and like feel it out for the night. Which is I don't understand how you could just like look at somebody and have them like start playing a riff or whatever.
Yeah,
but
that's a very like Grateful Dead thing to do. It feels like
totally, yeah, kind of hippie adjacent, but super cool. And I love Fugazi, man. They were probably one of the first punk bands I got into, thanks to mixtapes I mentioned before. But it's funny though, because your experience is kind of the opposite of mine, where I feel like I slept on their later albums more so, and only more recently have I sort of gone back and started listening to that stuff as well. So I feel like kind of after Red Medicine is where I got out, but yeah.
No, it's all. I mean, they didn't put out a bad album. They barely even put out a bad song, I would argue.
Yeah.
Nate, you're not that old, but were you like Fugazi was in your time?
Oh, 100. I mean, the argument came out in 2001. In Hits was 98. Red Medicine was 95.
Yeah. Okay.
It's all off the top of the head. I'm not on Wikipedia at all right now.
Yeah.
Look at you.
No. I'm just fucking with you. But anyway, yeah. That was probably the peak of my concert going era and whatever.
If I did, you definitely could have as well. I saw Fugazi.
Yeah, for sure.
Basically the same age.
I saw a Fugazi cover band. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Were they called Fugazi?
It's a Fugazi.
No, they weren't, Justin.
All right. Well, solid pick, Nate. Kyle, my dude.
My turn.
Shut up.
Hey, whoa, okay. All right, hold on. I have to pick a band that I don't think I've talked to any of you guys about, and I really love this band. And it's called Into Another. So we've talked about the Revelation bands.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah. I first heard, another like set of bands that my brother introduced me to, and I was already sort of in deep with Earth Crisis and Integrity and all that kind of stuff. And this was a band at the time that was very tied into the hardcore scene, has roots with other bands on the hardcore scene, but it's definitely not a hardcore band. All right. Richie Birkenhead, I think is his name.
That's right. He's from Youth of Today, right?
Yeah, he played guitar in Youth of Today for a little bit. He was a singer of Underdog, which is that pretty cool, like White Boy Bad Brains spin-off band.
Yep.
So yeah, I first heard Into Another, and it was kind of sounded like like White Snake riffs with a dude singing like Ozzy Osbourne. It was just not a hardcore band. And my brother kept trying to push it on me. And then a couple of years later, probably when I was like sophomore, junior in high school, that it really clicked with me. And still to this day, I think the band is fantastic. Like excellent songwriting, such crazy guitar playing, and the way the guy sings is ridiculous, but so rad. They kind of like some of their later stuff sounds like very influenced by like 90s grunge. Like some of it sounds like Soundgarden, but it's just as if like ex-hardcore kids are playing 90s grunge.
Mm-hmm. I refer to that whole era as like the weirdo Revelation bands.
Yeah.
You know, because it was like all the Youth Crew stuff sort of its time came and went. And everybody just got super weird.
Which is rad. And like looking at it, I didn't appreciate it at the time, but it's totally been like sort of set the stage for bands like Cave In and like bands from the hardcore scene of branching out and like doing different things.
It set the stage for a ton of bands now because I feel like it's sort of coming back around where there's a lot of bands that are like, yeah, we're not just going to be like fast parts and breakdowns anymore. We're going to kind of branch out into other weird corners of music rock world, you know?
Yeah. I don't know. Did that band ever sit with any of you guys?
Not for me. Sorry, Justin. Yeah, like I said, that whole like ilk was super confusing to me at the time, and I've never gone back just because, you know, to me, Revelation was like Youth of Today and Bold and all that stuff. And I think it was like, like Into Another, and maybe, what was that band, like Senses Fail, right?
Sensefield?
Or Sensefield.
Sensefield, yeah.
Sensefield, yeah. I remember like either somebody played them for me or maybe I like bought them from a used bin or something and just being like, what is this? And that was purely based off of the fact that they were on Revelation, you know? So, but I'd be curious to go back and check it out again. You know?
Yeah, it's probably one of my all-time favorite bands ever now.
Nice.
I tried to get into them in the last 4 or 5 years, and I'm maybe just too removed from, you know, the time and place, but I could see why people liked them. It was like a pungent cheese or something. I was like, I can't. I'm
speaking my language now.
Well, speaking Kyle's language for sure, right there.
Yeah. I know. I'm bringing it back.
I'll check it out.
Check it out.
Get it.
All right, Justin. We're going to check you out. What else you got?
Gosh.
That was so dumb. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
You're such a good host, Wesley.
No, you're a great host.
You are.
Thank you. Anyways.
So I feel like I'm gonna temper one of my picks here. I thought I was gonna do one, but I don't want to steal it from anybody else here. I'm going to go with a band that I still listen to this day. I love them. I've never seen them live. And I got into them just a little bit too late, and that is The Suicide File.
You.
But
I don't know why that just hit me in a weird way.
it felt right. Oh yeah, that's the day bow bow.
Beautiful.
Why is that not our theme?
That's a good question.
Copyright infringement. That's why. Anyways,
so you know they've got members of like all bands that I like: Death by Stereo, Adamantium, American Nightmare, Hope Conspiracy, and I just picked up Twilight in probably like a year after it was released, and I'm not even sure why I picked it up. I think I probably found it in a used bin at Amoeba or something like that, and listened to it, and it was one of those bands where. Listen to the album once and I go, this is my favorite. This is my new favorite band. Like I love every single fucking track on here, and maybe I got into them because it wasn't really like the hardcore that I was listening to at the time, and that's why they kind of passed me by a little bit, and I didn't have. It just never came up. I just never got nobody ever recommended them to me or anything like that, and going back on it, I might have actually grabbed. They had a split with the Hope Conspiracy, and I might have grabbed that first, and then snagged Twilight shortly afterwards. But it was a band that I just totally it passed me by, and I'm really bummed out that I never saw them. I know that they have gotten back together and done a. When was that reunion show? Was that in Boston last year?
I think that's right. Yeah,
that's my pick. I love Suicide File, and I am bummed that I missed out on them when they were around and touring. And,
so here's a question for you though, because I feel like I got into Suicide File because of you. I'm pretty sure, like,
I think I'd say the same.
Yeah, you were sort of peak Suicide File when we lived together. I feel like.
And I think that was probably 2004, 2005 that we moved in together.
Exactly. But the weird thing is I saw Suicide File around that time.
Where were you?
Was that at the Pound?
No. It was at iMusicast, that weird place in Berkeley. I think it was Berkeley. And it was with Every Time I Die.
Fuck, maybe I have seen Suicide File. I was drinking a lot back then.
Okay,
it's who knows.
I don't remember you being there. But it sort of to me it just begs the question, like, were you working or something? Because I only bring it up because it's a band that I very closely associate with you.
Wow.
Like when I think of Suicide File, I think of you.
This is showing our old age, man. It shows that you forgot that you were at.
Yeah, maybe I literally slept through that one, man.
Yeah, exactly. You fell asleep. All right. Well, my next pick is it was the most obvious one when we decided on this topic of like, oh, well, that was a band I definitely slept on that I very much regret. They're kind of from all over, but I'm just going to carpet it with Canada, but Cursed.
Ooh.
That's funny. I associate Cursed with you.
What a terrific
with me?
pick.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Because when we lived together, I think that was your peak Cursed period.
It probably was. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think my first sort of exposure to that band was their Blackout at Sunrise EP.
Yeah.
And I think that came out after the second record, and before the third, obviously. But really cool EP, and kind of in the same vein as like an Integrity, where it's just like really fucking dark hardcore. All the way around, like their artwork, their sound, their production, the way those records just sort of feel is really unique, and like they sound fucked up, but in a really good way. And I remember reading an interview with somebody, I think it was from like Bleeding Through or something, which is kind of a weird band for comparison, but them just like geeking out on like how dark Cursed sound, and if they could do like a different type of band, they would want to be a band like Cursed, which I totally get. Ironically, when I was a young buck, I was really into the singer's other band, Left for Dead, which I would recommend as well, along with The Swarm, which is a related band. But I just feel like Cursed really sort of perfected that sound in so many ways, and left a big gaping hole that really no one has been able to fill since then. And I think also was sort of a band just plagued with really bad luck when it came to touring. If I'm remembering some of the interviews I saw correctly, you know, they might have been one of those bands that was like, maybe they'll show up, maybe they won't. Just because they would, you know, their gear would get stolen or the van would break down or whatever the case may be. But yeah, I mean, all their albums are titled by numbers. So like 1, 2, and 3, which is just always a badass move. But you kind of can't go wrong with any of them. But like I said, Blackout at Sunrise, that EP was my first exposure, and that would be my recommendation point if you were interested in picking them up. So yeah, do you guys fuck with Cursed?
I fuck with Cursed. I got into Cursed of their second album, and that was an album that I bought purely on the album cover.
So good. Yep.
Flipping through the record bit of yeah, it's a dude with a goat head. You could say it's a, I don't know, maybe it's Baphomet. I'm not sure.
I think it is. Yeah.
But yeah, spot on with just how dark they are. They are a spooky hardcore band.
It's pretty dark, dude.
And that was pretty dark, dude. But in the same vein as like as Tragedy, is that was another kind of like crusty, sludgy band that it took me a long time to kind of get around to, as far as how good that crusty feel and that super dark sludge actually is. And maybe I started getting into them along the same like time that I was getting into High on Fire, where I was just kind of like really doing like really sludgy shit and dark shit. And yeah, I love that second album, and the EP that you mentioned is great as well.
Yeah, dude.
I should go back to it. It's just like you were saying, I really associate that band with US.
I'm honored.
I don't think it didn't really take with me at the time, because I was getting all in the rock and roll hoochie coo from what I remember at that time.
Yeah.
Well, you might be able to split the difference, because the singer, his newer band, which I think is now defunct, but Burning Love is kind of hoochie coo-esque, but obviously with the Cursed vocalist. So check that out as well.
Oh, yeah, I'll check it. I will.
But yeah, dude, Cursed is a good band. Nate, what is your good band that you slept on?
Yeah, I'm kind of a part 2 from a part 1. Speaking of numerology, my next one, as far as like bands you guys probably liked, but I was just not into, is Sick of It All.
Oh, yes.
Whoa,
And
yeah.
I saw them. I think I mentioned this concert, at least. It was a Slayer concert. Meshuggah opened, which is honestly why I was there. It was their first tour of America. They played like a 20-minute set, and it was fucking awesome. And then Sick of It All came out, and like, you know, whereas Meshuggah pulled off the rare feat of not getting booed off the stage, you know, when you're at a Slayer show opening, Sick of It All did not have the same luck. And within, I'd say, you know, 3 or 4 songs, Lou, you know, kind of threw a fit and was like, whatever, guys, Slayer asked us to be here. Fuck you. And, you know, they kind of stormed off the stage. And I was like, yeah, whatever, guys. You know, I wasn't really into the music at that point. Anyways, I was familiar with the Beavis and Butthead video, but that was about it.
Were you familiar with the Alleyway Crew Dragon? Do you know what I mean?
They're kind of icon.
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly, maybe I couldn't say for certain, but
okay.
Anyway, it didn't leave a great impression. But I think last podcast I mentioned I got the chance to see them at the Parkside a few years back, and wow, what a, you know, turnaround of just like fucking Lou is one of the best frontmen I've ever seen, you know, in the right setting, and just that whole band just so positive and just tight and awesome. Yeah, so I regret, you know, ever casting shade on them. based on, you know, my second experience with them.
You repent, Nate.
As a testament to them being like right place, like you know, when they got a crowd that's into them, they really are one of the most electric bands you'll ever see. I remember seeing them at Slim's, and if you guys recall Slim's, there were these like metal pillars, you know, going all through the entire venue. And Lou, you know, and like throughout the whole show, you know, people are climbing up on them and jumping off of them, and people are going nuts. And then in the middle of the show, Lou's able to like stop the whole show and go, all right, I want everybody to go on this side, and you know, of Slim's, and I want the other half to go on the other side, and they're going to start playing, you know, and from front to back, all the way to the bar in the back of Slim's, there was probably like 20 or 30 feet of open space. And then, you know, he tells everybody to go, and everybody runs towards each other and just beats the shit out of each other. And people are running into poles and the whole 9 yards. And I'm just going, man, to have that command over an audience, is something pretty special.
The Wall of Death.
Wall of Death, dude.
Could tell me how many Wall of Deaths I saw on Warped Tour 2007.
It was a thing for a while, for sure. But there was a really, this is a dumb thing. There was a really famous YouTube video, but there was a really famous YouTube video of Sick of It All doing a Wall of Death, which was definitely the first one I ever saw.
And that Slim show, that was the first one that I ever saw as well. And I'm like, this is fucking cool. And then it's not as cool when Lamb of God's doing it at Warped Tour.
Yeah, right. or Bring Me the Horizon, Kyle.
Yeah,
is that who you were thinking?
That'd be sick if it was Lamb of God.
Yeah, I would take that over Bring Me the Horizon. That's for sure.
The other thing, maybe you're, you know, almost touching on here is like, for me, like for the New York scene, I, you know, of course, the straight edge bands and stuff aside, but for me, I associate a lot of it was with kind of, I don't know, jock types and like, you know, just kind of brutes or whatever. But but Lou, he just was like very seemed very open minded and very willing to kind of put himself out there as far as you know, what he thought was right or whatever. So
no, I feel you in that regard. It's funny because like getting into hardcore, like obviously New York hardcore loomed so large as like something you had to be into. And I liked a lot of that stuff, but say like Madball, for example, like I own the records and I listened to it, but I was just like, I do not relate to this at all. Like this is just like this is not my life experience, and I'm not going to pretend that it is.
You don't relate to Scarhead and Madball?
Yeah, seriously.
The kid from Moran?
Yeah, exactly. I'd go see him live and stuff, and I was at those shows, but like I definitely wasn't like walking around like I was fucking living that life just because I owned Set It Off or whatever. But yeah, I appreciated Sick of It All for the same reason, because they were sort of part of that family, but I don't know, a little bit more accessible for me. Yeah, for sure. Sick of It All is the fucking kings, dude. All right. Well, speaking of kings, Kyle, my king, my prince, my Philistine, my brute.
Shower it on me, buddy.
I know.
A2 Brutus.
Yeah, exactly.
That feels good.
What do you got?
Wait, are you in the bathroom right now?
No. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about what I'm doing. All right. This next one I had to pick because I really do like this band now still. And it's actually been something over the last couple of years. I've come back to it. And I saw this band play once in San Francisco, and I can't remember. It might have been Club 6. Because I remember being a pretty crappy venue. That venue sucked. It was terrible.
Yeah.
It has former members of the Nerve Agents in it. And so when I went to this show, I went there with some friends, and I was told it's like members of an ex-hardcore band, Nerve Agents, which wasn't really that familiar with Nerve Agents at the time either. And the band is called Darker My Love.
Fuck yeah, let's go, dude.
Yeah, you with me?
Tim, absolutely.
Yeah. So Nerve Agents guys, and I saw
American, dude.
And they were doing like a modern take on like post-rock shoegaze kind of thing, and it just didn't. Yeah, I think because I went to the show thinking I was going to see a hardcore band, I was like, well, no, and yeah, so that just I didn't check them out for a while, and then a few years later, I picked up the CD just to try it again, and now it's one of my all-time favorites. And the recording studio I was interning at in San Francisco, they were mixing their second record in that recording studio while I was an intern there.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and at the time, like, I started giving them another shot, but thinking back now, I'm like, oh god, I love that record so much. And when they were in there in the studio, like doing the mixing the record, I was like, yeah, whatever. But now it would be like, oh, I'd tell them like, your record's amazing, thank you so much.
Yeah, Nate and I are the same way with the Juliana Theory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Love album is my all-time favorite album.
No.
Yeah, that was our claim to fame at the recording studio we worked at. Anyways.
Yeah, but Darker My Love is kind of like, it's like shoegazy, but before like the new wave of shoegazy stuff became really popular, and
they were way ahead of the curve on that.
Yeah, and it's still like it has a lot of rock and like swagger to it, and it's really cool.
Yeah, dude.
Very like Brian Jones Massacre style, but like elevated a little bit.
Yeah, totally. And I think that dude Tim, he was in that band I mentioned, Model American, then moved on to Nerve Agents, then Darker My Love, and he has like another project too, I think with his girlfriend, that's even like weirder. It's like very sort of like art rocky, for lack of a better term. And I think last I heard that dude lives in France now. So he's definitely
he's getting real weird.
He's living that life for sure. But I'm fucking for it. Like, go ahead and evolve, my dude. But yeah, Darker My Love is a good. I can't remember for the life of me how I like crossed paths with them. Maybe it was you, Kyle. I don't know.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, but I saw them in Wesley. They think they started around in San Francisco, but then when we lived together, we lived together in LA, they were an active band in LA. And
that's right.
That's why I'm saying like we could have been there, dude.
Yeah, we fucked up.
I think the drummer Ender Granelli I think he started the band with the singer, but Ender Granelli is a San Francisco guy and an absolute sweetheart and a great dude. But I am all for Darker My Love. They are so fucking good, dude. Yeah, great pick.
Dude.
Feel it.
I fucking feel that shit. Cool. Justin, what's your last one?
Oh, I kind of want you to pick your last one so I don't pick it.
You want me to go first?
We'll go at the same time. Say what it is. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
I changed up my list a little bit.
All right, so I'll say this one, and then I have another one for a honorable mention. But my last pick of the most slept on band that I have ever had would be American Nightmare.
Yeah. Yep. We talked about this, but do it.
I saw American Nightmare so many times and not like in a bad way, but I feel like I heard their demo. in 1999, and then they had like a little EP that they put out on Bridge 9 in 2000, and I feel like they toured heavily in the Bay Area after that Bridge 9 EP came out, and I liked them, and everybody went absolutely apeshit for them, but I still was not like at all sold on them. And then for some reason, when background music came out in 2001, I picked up the record and I just go, holy fuck, dude, this is just absolutely like mind-bending music, how great it was. And then I think the things that like maybe I didn't really understand about American Nightmare was just not having like a very cookie cutter like verse, like, you know, breakdown, you know, verse, like second breakdown, and then like just have this like crazy like build up to a super heavy like Hatebreed style breakdown, which I think that's the reason I wasn't drawn to him. And then after background music came out and I'd listened to that, just going like, man, every single one of these songs is different, and this isn't anything like I've ever heard before, and I love them. And I still listen to background music on a regular basis. It's fucking rad. But there you go.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, they're one of my honorable mentions, and we talked about it the other night or whatever. I mean, talk about like all time slept-ons. Like I literally, like day after the show, would have people being like, "How come you weren't in American Nightmare last night?" You know.
I feel like I've been to an American Nightmare show with both of you guys.
You probably have.
Yeah, were you at that
in the early
Converge?
2000s?
Yeah, like Converge, HopeCon,
that Pound show. Yeah,
yeah, also known as like the best show ever.
Yeah,
yeah. That show was so fucking good, and that was actually when I got turned around on that band. After seeing him that night, it finally clicked. I was like, oh yeah, I get it. Because I mean, I even owned background music. Like I remember buying it when it came out, and for me, I knew it had the guitar player for 10 Yard Fight, and it kind of just sounded like a more punk rock version of 10 Yard Fight with, you know, screamy vocals. But certainly at the time, like Nate, this is probably when we were hanging out, like peak Wes and Nate time. So I think overall my tastes were a little bit more techie. And American Nightmare definitely was not techie. But yeah, I was sure fucking wrong about that, especially by the time that I started sort of wrapping my head around the lyrics and all that. That's like a big selling point, for lack of a better term, of that band. So yeah.
Boy, were you wrong.
I was fucking wrong about American Nightmare.
And I think that's where a lot of it stems from me is like I talked about like the, you know, breakdowns and shit like that, but then afterward, like I kind of started transitioning into like more technical hardcore and like stuff with like more metal undertones and stuff like that. And it wasn't until like kind of wised up, I guess, years later that I realized like really the punk driven hardcore is the best.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
That's where it's at.
Cool. All right. Well, my last pick, this is like the perfect segue, because I remember reading an interview with the singer of the band I'm talking about here. And I remember him saying that when American Nightmare stopped, I think Wes kind of unofficially passed the torch to this band to keep it up in terms of like stylistically and lyrically and all that. And it is Blacklisted.
Mm-hmm.
From Philadelphia, formed in 2003. Facts. Yeah. Not so much a fact, but Blacklisted first sort of landed with me with the album Heavier Than Heaven, Lonelier Than God. And full disclosure, the only reason I started listening to this record and eventually bought this record was because I loved the picture on the cover of this album. To me, it is like one of the all-time like best album covers ever.
That's what the dude on the dock.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And he's doing some kind of weird like Jesus Christ pose. I heard that there was some controversy around it because people interpreted it as basically somebody about to commit suicide. I didn't really read it in that way when I looked at that cover. But anyways, you can look at it yourself and decide what you see in it. But yeah, definitely picked up where American Nightmare left off. And you guys will have to forgive me, but this is like seriously one of the best lyrics ever. It's not from Heavier Than Heaven. It's from the album after it. But George, the singer, wrote this, and it's a line I think about all the time because it's so fucked up. But it goes, remember that time you brought home that picture of your dad, hung it on the wall as a reminder of what it means to be a man. I was lying when I said I didn't know where it went. I tore it up laughing and I'd do it again. So fucking good.
God.
Like,
Wow.
like not on my best day could I write a line that good. Just in terms of what it says about masculinity, what it says about being a fucked up friend and just like tearing up a picture of somebody's parents just because you can. So in a lot of that, it sort of sums up Blacklisted for me. I think the singer George definitely went through some shit, judging by interviews that I read with him over the years, and it's definitely reflected in the lyrics and it's reflected in the music. And you can kind of trace an arc throughout their albums. I think they definitely get weirder and weirder as they go. But interestingly enough, I think the newer stuff kind of gets a little bit more back to the meat and potatoes, hardcore punk rock style that they may have started with. But yeah, Blacklisted is a good band. And
Another band I associate
fucking miss
with you.
them. Hey.
I think you were pushing on me when we lived together and didn't quite stick.
Yep.
So I'll try it again.
Yeah, and I guess one thing is like if one particular album isn't really doing it for you, just skip to the next album, and that might be the one that does do it for you because they do change up musically quite a bit. It all sounds like the same band, but it's just sort of different flavors of that band.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, homies, Blacklisted.
Yeah, homie.
I just made a little bit of a connection between your and I's list, Wesley, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like a lot of our list of all these slept-on bands, a commonality between all these bands and albums that we're talking about are just impeccable lyrics throughout the entire album. And like when I think about American Nightmare and like listening to their lyrics and reading the lyrics and going, fuck, man, I really like this hits me. Same with Suicide File. I think about there's the closing song on Twilight is called Song for Tonight, and there's lyric, like I think about those lyrics on a regular basis with how good they are.
Yeah, I would lump Cursed in there as well, for sure. Great lyrics.
Yeah, exactly. And I think I got into you talking about Blacklisted. I got into Blacklisted right around the same time that I got into Cursed, which was probably right around 2006, and a lot of it was just because of I guess I think Blacklisted put pretty much everything out on Death Wish.
Yeah, and, I think that's right.
And I want to say that Cursed put their first album out on Death Wish, and just like it was like heavy-handed from Death Wish. Like, you guys should start listening to these bands, because if you're not, you're a fucking kook. Yeah, another great band, another great pick, dude.
Yeah, it's funny too because, like I said, like being a little bit more technically oriented at that time, a lot of the like early Death Wish stuff, it did all kind of have like a house sound to it
Yeah.
that was a little bit more, like I said before, meat and potatoes hardcore, but over time that tends to be the stuff that has stuck with me a lot more. And a lot more of the technical stuff that I was hot to trot for at that time just literally does nothing for me anymore. It just sounds like wankery.
I agree.
You know,
I listen to so much
Except for
music
Botch, huh?
except for no. Well, I mean, like Converge is a constant, like Botch and like the Hydra Head stuff. I wouldn't necessarily say that, but sorry, but like a lot of like Dillinger stuff at this point in my life just does nothing for me. You know, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm totally the same. It's all like a little bit too niche now, and all the meat and potatoes are stuff that like seems a little bit more timeless, and you can always come back to it and listen to it. Funny side note about Dillinger is we were talking. What was it? Our last pod, which was just the heavy stuff. I was going back and I was listening to a lot of the songs that I thought were like so heavy, and I'm going to go off on a tangent here, but I think about like songs that are like the biggest like great openers and then like the biggest letdowns of any song of all time, and I think the best example of that is Crazy Train.
40. Yeah.
But so
Were you say 43% burnt?
Well,
that's
where I was going was I was like, I'm like, oh man, like Crazy Train's just got like this ripping intro, and then it just goes into the stupidest song I've ever fucking heard in my entire life. And then when I was going back with all these songs that I was like, oh man, this song used to like blow my socks off. I put on 43% burnt, and I was like, oh yeah, this is heavy, this is good. And then it goes into the worst hardcore song of all time. Like shortly thereafter, I'm like, this song fucking sucks, dude. It's all just wanting all I want is the meat and potatoes. All I want is the jugs, you know?
Yep. So I feel you for sure. I disagree on Crazy Train, but I know exactly what you mean.
I fully agree about Crazy Train.
Yeah, but I get it because it is kind of like there are two songs going on in this song, and one is clearly better than the other.
Yeah.
But I'm fine with
Crazy.
it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But anywho. All right. And many tangents. Nate, what is your third and final pick?
I'm going a little more obscure with this one. And there are multiple bands that can kind of fill this slot. We've talked about Dissection before, so I'm going to skip them and go to Dawn. Partly because Dawn didn't sacrifice cats in the name of Satan either.
I don't think Dawn killed anybody.
Yeah, I don't know that they did either.
Yeah.
But anyway, Dawn's just a band that, I've talked ad nauseum about at the Gates. And Dissection definitely was a band I missed out on too. But Dawn, like coming into that within the last 5 years, like how did I never know of this band that's playing this like kind of perfect crystallization of the Swedish, death metal with melodic parts and just so fucking well done. And
well done.
It's makes me think of dish soap.
How do you pass up on albums titled Nar Solen Gar Nipfer van Igvor, which is my best chance at describing that.
Nailed it.
And Slaughter Son. That's a little easier to say. But anyway, I mean, I don't have too much to say about them. They never toured the States to my knowledge, but so it's not like I miss seeing them live. But a band that when I was really into this shit, I just didn't know about. So
Can I ask you guys a question?
there's my go.
Do you guys
Yeah.
have the Slaughter Son EP?
Yep.
Do you recall the picture of the band on that EP?
I do not, but I'm gonna go grab it right now.
Yeah.
So I'm with you all the way, Nate. Like Dawn was like a huge gap where I was just like, where the fuck have you been all my life?
Right.
I was so bummed when I looked at the band picture because I mean, certainly like black metal band pictures can be cringy to say the least. But Dawn decided to go with like the distinguished goth gentleman.
Yes. Yeah. I think it's pretty rad.
But they're all like wearing blouses.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, dude.
And like
no.
fucking head loppers.
I just
Phantom of the Opera rules.
yeah. These
I feel like
that this picture fucking rules, dude. Long hair. It's like Interview with the Vampire, dude.
Totally Interview with the Vampire if they were a band.
Yeah.
And I feel like it led to like so many other bands kind of ripping that look off.
Phantom of the Opera is pretty
it's
dark,
funny.
man.
I'd like to hear about more black metal bands serving looks within their promo pictures.
Once we switch the video.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a strong.
seriously.
It's a strong choice.
It's
but,
a statement. It's a statement.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to hold it against them because that record is so fucking rad.
I know Kyle's next. Can I guess what his is going to be?
Please
Sure.
do.
Yeah, I like this.
I
game.
think I feel like just today he had the epiphany and it's Coalesce. Is that true? That you've slept on him this whole time
I've turned around.
and you actually listened to him.
If you're listening to this podcast, I respect you. Your music is satisfactory.
I was hoping right there, Kyle.
That's an
that-
upgrade.
Yeah,
That's an upgrade.
Yeah.
that Kyle, you would say, Coalesce, if you're listening.
Shut up.
More than you want from me. Some kind of apology.
That's perfect, dude.
Perfect. Yeah.
Anyways,
You really nailed it.
fuck it, really.
But you know, forgiveness is the best they'll get. They're winkers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did a quick little pivot. We'll do an honorable mention, but I want a band a little off to the side a bit is Rocket from the Crypt,
Oh,
which is fucking such a cool band.
We're going to
I
win
love
this race.
Yeah, dude, I love this band so much right now. I have for a long, long time, but when I first heard about Rocket from the Crypt, like there were some hardcore kids in high school or like high school, early college that were kind of telling me about it. And, you know, just the whole thing, just, I was like, this is goofy. This is weird. It's, you know, it's just, but now it's so fun, dude. It's so freaking good. So Rocket from the Crypt has a lot of association, like same dude from Drive Like Jehu, Hot Snakes. Yeah, and so when I first heard, and they weren't necessarily like touring around with hardcore bands, but a lot of the kids I knew listening to hardcore at the time were pushing this band on me. And now I look back on it and I wish I got more into it then at that time and went to go see them. I had never got, if you watch videos of their live shows, it's just a party. Everybody's wearing like sequence shirts and shit. Maybe it was also the horns too that put me off at the time,
I'm listening.
you know? Yeah. I was thinking like that's maybe too ska adjacent for me.
I'm listening.
I can't have any trumpets, but
Sure you can.
oh god damn, it rocks. It's so good, dude. Rocket from the Crypt is so freaking good. That whole album of Scream, Dracula Scream. It's party time. You guys know I like to party.
I know you like to party.
Do you guys like this band?
I really like Rocket from the Crypt, and it took me 10 years of hearing about them to finally listen to them, and it is 100% because of their name.
That you didn't
Correct.
take to it, or
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't know. It's just like people are like, oh yeah, you got to listen to Rocket from the Crypt, and all I could think about was like fat rockabilly people. Like hanging
lemonade.
Yeah,
cool, refreshing drink.
I made a lot of judgments about it before really giving like there's horns in it. They're wearing sequin shirts. Like it sounds like a rockabilly band. I was like, but
they kind of had the Hives thing going on before the Hives.
Yeah.
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 Like and like organized dance moves of dressing the same and just fucking rocking hard.
So I have not found my way back to Rocket from the Crypt. All right. Do you guys recall a long time ago on our text chain when we were kind of talking about like quintessential bands that the guy who works at the record store is really into?
Yeah. There were lots of weird Rocket from the Crypt fans and lots of people. I was hearing that if you got a Rocket from the Crypt tattoo that you could go to any show for free.
Yeah.
There were like hundreds and hundreds of people getting Rocket from the Crypt tattoos.
Yeah. I kind of lumped them in with that. And I think I also sort of probably miscategorized them as like some kind of swing band, which isn't that far out based on the way they look. But certainly fucking any person I've ever met from San Diego is like ride or die for Rocket from the Crypt. So yeah, I feel you. So maybe it's time, man.
Rad.
Maybe it's time. Yeah.
It's good time music.
That's
We
cool.
got songs such as Dick on a Dog.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. We did it. We did it once again.
It's a good list.
That's a good list. Justin, let me throw it to you for your honorables.
So I'll say that one of my honorable mentions is actually Turbo Negro.
There you go.
Because that was a band that once again looked at the name. I'm like, nope, not gonna touch it. And then listened, I think I heard Age of Pamparius and was like, fuck, this song rules, dude. And then like going and
I was
reading
into the Leather Daddy stuff like right away.
Yeah.
I saw that and I was like, yeah.
This shit's fucking cool, dude.
Well, the whole story behind all that of them being from Norway, where there's all this like crazy black metal and dudes are killing each other, and there's these guys are burning down churches, and there was no way to shock anybody except by dressing up like gay men.
Hell yeah, dude. You got to zig when other people are zagging. Exactly.
And to freak out, all the metalheads are like, oh yeah, we're just going to dress up like sailors and kiss each other on stage. And it's going to fucking freak everybody out. I love that shit. That's rad. The coolest shit of all time.
It is, yeah.
And this is a really, really, really bad segue into my second honorable mention, which will be Dissection. So I really, really, really like was, full tits boogie on Dissection and like the late 90s, early 2000s, like just thinking that they were like the greatest band ever. And then when they got back together and released Rain Chaos, I was like, fuck yes, dude. Absolutely. Like I'm gonna get to go see them. And this is going to be the greatest thing of all time. And they were going to play 2 shows, and one of them was in New York and one of them was in San Francisco. And then, of course, the lead singer, because he spent 10 years in prison for murdering somebody, which is actually probably like that murder is probably one of the big reasons why Turbo Negro does what they do. But
yep.
Didn't get to go into the States, didn't get to come in, and then shortly thereafter killed himself. So no more Dissection.
Yep.
And but yeah, that's a band that I kind of feel like I didn't really like sleep on per se, but like kind of missed the boat by just I got really close to being able to see them live, and then it didn't happen.
Well. May they live on. I don't know why I said that.
What?
I'm fucking tired.
Hey,
right.
don't dissect it too much.
Yeah,
Yeah, I won't.
exactly.
Don't dissect that too much.
That was like in fucking Swingers, where it's like, well, we all have stories.
Big gulps, huh?
Yeah. Big gulps, huh? Cool.
Yeah, those are
is that,
that's them.
those are your honorables? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good segue because my honorables are basically like any black metal band ever. Like I am not plugged in with that scene at all, so I feel like I'm constantly like 2 albums behind whatever is cool. So I'll just throw that out is a broad one. More specifically, that band Altar of Plagues. I had a real hard on for a long time, and they toured with ISIS at one point, and that would have been a really cool show to catch. But whoopsie, slipped on it. Otherwise, Terror. Fuck, dude. Yeah, I fucked up by not being into Terror from day one.
It surprises me that you said I would have believed that you were from day one.
Nope. Again, it was like one of those things where it was just a little bit too like meat and potatoes hardcore for my taste at the time. And it really wasn't until I moved down to LA and for some reason kind of my taste changed that I fully got into Terror. But Terror's the best, dude. So
They're so good, dude.
that last album is so fucking rad. And they're still playing shows, so yeah, we're all good. And then the last one I'll mention is not like heavy music related at all. But Lana Del Rey, I fucking love you. You're the best.
I've been all in on Lana for a long time, man. I am such a geek for her.
Yeah, dude. And I was dismissive for no reason for the first, like, I don't know, 3 albums or something, just being like, whatever, but yeah, it wasn't until
you saw me in the tank top.
No, it was even that. Like, honestly, I didn't even quite put together who that was on your tank top, which is a great tank top, by the way. But no, it wasn't until Norman fucking Rockwell that for whatever reason it kind of hit me a bit more, and I've been firmly on board ever since. I think she's fucking great. I think she's super punk rock.
I know nothing about it.
Get into it, dude.
Get into it, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That's some good mellow tunes, dude.
But anyways, yeah, that's it for my honorables. Nate, what do you got?
I have a trio of death metal bands. 1 from Canada, 2 from Florida. Gorguts, Atheist, and Death. All fucking awesome bands that I was into. Cynic. I was kind of into Deicide and shit like that. At least I had friends listening to it, but Gorguts in particular, well, actually all of these were just so much better and just out there and fucking progressive and trying out new shit. And only got into these guys, I guess with the exception of Death, within their last albums each. A San Diego band, Drive Like Jehu, back to San Diego. Fucking love that band way after the fact. And a modern band, Trapped Under Ice. I feel like it would have been cool to know about them when they were active. So that's my my list.
TUI till I die, dude.
Yeah, man.
Say what?
TUI till I die.
TUI? Like a...
What do you
Trapped
think?
Under Ice. Oh, sorry.
Oh.
Spoiler alert.
DUI.
Yeah. Bal Breaks played with Trapped Under Ice. It was a good show.
Oh, no shit.
Did you
Wow.
now?
Yeah, dude.
Did you?
Yeah, man.
Okay,
I think Bane played that show too. Atheel would probably remember better than I would. But yeah, Kyle, what do you
That's
got?
cool. I got two. I'll make it quick. One is Have Heart. We've talked about that band a lot.
Ooh, yeah.
And I think it's for the opposite reason for some of the other bands we've been talking about, because ours is already like moving past hardcore. Like, not that I wasn't interested in it, but I wasn't really like keeping up with it. I was learning, and I was getting more and more into black metal and death metal and all sorts of stuff. But I mention it now because I was actually, when I was living in New York, I was on the East Coast at the time around when Have Heart disbanded. I actually heard about the last show that they were doing in like 2009 when I was in New York, and there was some talk about people going, and I just wasn't interested. It just didn't really like.
You couldn't get the energy to unzip the tent.
Yeah, I was living in the streets. No, I was in grad school at the time. I was busy. But looking back on it now, that would have been such an amazing thing to be part of. And I listen to that band now and I love it. And I think there's so much important about that style of like aggressively positive hardcore that like it's having a resurgence with me lately. Where like, I still love listening to black metal, death metal, like the really negative type of shit. But there's a few bands that are doing aggressively positive style of music that when they pull it off, it's so good. And I think it's the kind of thing that like really is important to punk rock. And it's important for younger kids to have a band like that. So it was a little bit after my time, but looking back at that band now, it's incredible. And
hell yeah.
Another one I'll mention is a band that I saw live that I thought was the worst thing ever. And it was a horrible, horrible, horrible concert. And it's a band called Black Marble.
Really?
Like minimal, kind of like really minimal, subdued, like post-punk. It's kind of quiet. It's kind of like mousy, synthy post-punk. And they were playing a club that, was like a post-punk club in San Francisco, but their live show it was awful. It sounded horrible. It was just two dudes. I was like, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. But Real Turnaround, I really love the records. I listen to it all the time for, working, doing peaceful stuff. It's a really cool record. And you could see how that sound live doesn't come across very well.
I feel like that genre is kind of ripe for disappointing live acts.
It was terrible. And I think everybody there knew it was terrible. It was all around. It was uncomfortable, like how bad it was.
Woof.
Yeah. But the record's great.
Yep. I listened to that record.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
That's my go.
Cool. Well, we did it, y'all. Let's go back. You guys got anything you want to recommend? Nate, you went to. I'll tee you up real nice. You went to a show recently.
Yeah, as Kyle was talking, I was just thinking about this. Part of the reason why I drove, an hour in the rain when I was fucking bone tired to see the show last night, which was Military Gun headlining and Spiritual Cramp. I feel like a lot of it comes back to like this feeling about what we're talking about of like FOMO, whatever it's like you don't want to miss out on like this legendary shit going down. And so for me, I was like, man, Military Gun put out my favorite album last year. I just, I gotta just push through and go check them out. And I feel like that's a lot of shows. I feel like that's why we go to reunion shows, because we missed out on these bands the first time maybe, or, this thing that we're chasing, like of this feeling of, the fucking most epic show,
being
whatever.
Apart.
Yeah, but I'm starting to question what that even is. Like, what do I expect now? Or what do I really want? Because Military Gun, by all means, they hit all the notes. The singer's voice held up, which was my concern. They've had good energy, good crowd interaction, but still left me a little hollow at the end of the day. And, it makes me wonder, what do I even really want, out of a show right now or out of a band?
Have you know anything about Jesus Christ?
I talked about Zaya last show. So yes.
Yeah.
I just feel like now more the shows like, so I'm still a proponent of seeing live bands. I don't love the crowds and this and that, but I feel like it's more like these curveballs that have been like the things that things I didn't expect to enjoy, you know, that have been where the expectations weren't high or whatever. Because I have had some really good, you know, experiences in the last year, you know, and beyond. But anyway, so that wasn't really your question. But yeah, I mean, it was a good show. I will say a recommendation. The band Roman Candle. My plan was to drive in, check into the Phoenix Hotel, which I guess is about to close or whatever, which I didn't know at the time. Anyway, my plan was to do that and skip the first band because I'd never heard of them. And the drive in, I started listening. I was like, holy shit, man, these guys are pretty good, you know. And in particular, I will recommend a song to you all. It's a female vocalist, great drummer. The band's called Roman Candle. And the song I will recommend is called Gaslighting Isn't Real. It has some like botch. It has some like countervail. Like this early kind of like, you know, metallic hardcore.
Nice. Well, excuse me. Speaking of going to shows, Mia, Thiel, and Rennie went and saw that Ceremony show at the Palladium, which was cool to see.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
And yeah, it was just rad to see sort of like hometown heroes making good, playing a venue that large. But I'm just gonna say this: I have seen Anthony wear some fucking wild get-ups on stage. He has never looked better than what he was wearing.
Just fabulous.
I'm serious, dude. He was in like
I saw a video of it.
Head to toe like lingerie. He looked fucking rad. I'm sorry, he looked super fucking cool and super fucking sexy.
Can I quickly throw one more honorable mention in there? You guys know a band called Creative Adult?
Yeah, that's actually people from Ceremony and Spiritual Cramp.
Spiritual Cramp. Yeah. That band rules.
Yeah.
All those records they put out are great.
Yeah, I dabbled. That was about as far as I got, but maybe I'll go back.
For me, it was a dabble for me when it first came around, and they were doing stuff in the Bay Area when I lived there, and going back to it now.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right, dudes, we did it. So thank you. I love you all, and I appreciate you all. Yeah, thank you, my dudes. Love you all, appreciate you all, and we will do it again next time. So,
thank you, bros.
Adios.
Thanks, bros.
Bye-bye.
Sounds good. Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.